Hello and welcome to my channel Happy Hours. In my last video, I discussed about the post-independence challenges, where I discussed about the partition-induced problems and the major challenges faced by the Indian government, where I discussed about the integration of princely states like Jodhpur, Travancore, Junagadh, Hyderabad and Kashmir also. What were the problems and how Indian government dealt with them. I even discussed about the article number 370. About the Indo-China War of 1962, and we have understood about the consequences of this war. These were all in the Jawaharlal Nehru era. In this video, I am going to discuss about Lal Bahadur Shastri, who was the second Prime Minister of our country. We are going to discuss about the evolution, his foreign policy, Hindi-English controversy, and the first Indo-China War, which took place in 1965. And the last is the Tashkent Agreement, which took place in 1966 until his death. So what are you waiting for? Let's start our discussion with Lal Bahadur Shastri. Lal Bahadur Shastri, who was born on 2nd October 1904, and he was the Indian politician and statesman who was the Prime Minister of India from 1964 to 66. He previously served as the Home Minister from 1961 to 63. He was born to Sarat Prasad Srivastava and Ram Dulari Devi in Mughal Sarai on 2nd October 1904. He studied in East Central School, Inter College and Harish Chandra High School, which he left to join the non-cooperation movement. He worked for the betterment of Harijans at Muzaffarpur and dropped his caste-derived surname Srivastava. Shastri thought was influenced by reading about Swami Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi and Annie Besant. He was deeply impressed and influenced by Gandhi. He joined the Indian independence movement in 1920s. He served as the president of Servants of People's Society, Lok Sevak Mandal, founded by Lala Lajpat Rai, and held prominent positions in Indian National Congress. Following independence in 1947, he joined the Indian government and became one of the Prime Minister Nehru's key cabinet colleagues. First as the Railway Minister in 1951 to 56 and then in numerous other prominent positions including the Home Minister. Now we have to understand about the evolution of Lal Bahadur Shastri as the Prime Minister of India. After death of Nehru, the syndicate of Congress party led by K. Kamaraj and Atulya Ghosh, S.Y. Patil, Neelam Sanjeev Reddy, Swarn Singh, Nijali Gappa, and these were the syndicate, and they were in the favor of Lal Bahadur Shastri. Syndicate expected that Prime Minister will work within the party, but Shastri tactfully came out of the control of syndicate and started framing independent policy. The urgent problem in India was food crisis, and it was mainly due to less monsoon and situation drought in many parts. Shastri had taken short-term and long-term measures to solve the issue of food crisis, like Sunday fast, kitchen garden, etc. He established FCIL, which is Food Corporation of India Limited, which served the purpose of green revolution, and somehow food crisis was managed. Now we should understand about the Shastri's foreign policy. How he reshaped the foreign policy. The Cuban Missile Crisis was successfully solved by active support effort of UN Secretary General U Thant. There was hotline connection established by Russia and America to solve the major catastrophe. Therefore, there was question on relevance of non-aligned movement. As the member Indonesia had turned pro-American. In India, also there was general question on relevance of non-aligned movement, because non-aligned movement did not play any significant role during the Indo-China War. There came Shastri with a new policy. He led the foundation of pro-USSR policy while maintaining the strategic relation with non-aligned movement. Annual summit between India and USSR was organized despite the opposition from his own party, which later on converted into 20 years long strategic partnership between India and USSR. Next is the Hindi-English controversy. After the promulgation of Constitution in 1950, the Constituent Assembly had decided to continue English for 15 years as the official language. After that, it will be replaced by Hindi. There was campaign for Hindi in northern India, and Lal Bahadur Shastri also tried to accelerate the acceptance of Hindi. He made Hindi as the alternative medium of writing in civil services examinations. He also established a translation department to translate all the official gazette and official orders in Hindi, which resulted in huge reaction from the non-Hindi states. However, the fierce opposition came from Tamil Nadu. DMK under Annadurai led massive protest of the students, which turned entire southern India in violent atmosphere. It has provoked some separatist idea also. Only Indira Gandhi, who was the communication minister in the Shastri cabinet, was able to connect with Tamil leaders. Now, next I am proceeding with the Indo Pak War, which was in the year 1965. India was struggling with many domestic issues. After defeat from China, morale of military was very low. Pakistan received advanced tank from America and somehow got the feeling of military superiority. Now Pakistan wanted to take advantage of all these situations and try to check the reactionary pulse of India by capturing 20 square kilometers area in Run of Kutch. The response of India was not so intense, except highlighting the issues before powerful countries. It, encouraged by this situation, Pakistan planned two operations. First was the Operation Grand Slam, and the second was Operation Gibraltar. In Grand Slam, the trained militant was sent to create internal disturbances, whereas in Operation Gibraltar, it was to separate Kashmir from Jammu. Initially, Pakistan got advantage in these areas, but India swiftly crossed the international border in Punjab sector and reached as far as Lahore. Meanwhile, in United Nations Security Council, the discussion regarding India and Pakistan war had started. Initially, economic sanctions were imposed on both the countries and later ceasefire was implemented. In Security Council, USSR agreed to mediate between India and Pakistan. Lal Bahadur Shastri, beyond expectation, had proved high decisiveness and bring back the morale of people with the slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Now I am proceeding with the last work done by Lal Bahadur Shastri, which was the Tashkent Agreement, happened in the year 1966 on the date of 10th Jan. Russian Prime Minister Kosygin invited President Ayub Khan of Pakistan and Prime Minister of India Lal Bahadur Shastri to discuss the modalities of peace. And he had an agreement. And according to that agreement, first condition was that both India and Pakistan will maintain the status of quo before 5th August 1965. Both the countries will avoid toxic propaganda against each other. There will be orderly transfer of prisoners of war and two leaders will work to improve bilateral relations. Both the countries will restore trading relations as before. These were the pointers under the Tashkent Agreement. Now we should evaluate it also. The first thing is that this agreement was relief to both countries, but not a permanent solution. Secondly, despite the fact that it held as major diplomatic initiative, but it failed to stop the future escalation between both the countries. Thirdly, there was no war pact between both the countries. And Pakistan continued to support insurgency and proxy war. Fourth and the last thing was that India's advantage in this war was transformed into disadvantage. India had to return territory upon Lahore and strategic Haji Pir Pass. It became a major route for infiltration of terrorists. In the night of Tashkent Agreement, Lal Bahadur Shastri died, but he proved his caliber as the true successor and legacy of Nehru in decision making. We have to understand about the death of Shastri also, as he died of heart attack, as he told. It was said on 11th January 1966, one day after signing the peace treaty to end the 1965 Indo-Pakistan War, many of the Shastri's supporters and close relatives refused at that time and have refused since to believe the circumstances of his death, instead alleging foul play. Conspiracy theories appeared within hours of his death and have thereafter persisted. An RTI was filed to Prime Minister's office. Office responded that it has one file on his death but cannot declassify it to the public. Many people still believe that he was poisoned. With this, we have understood about Lal Bahadur Shastri, his evolution, and how he worked for the country. I am concluding my video here. If you find the content of my video interesting, kindly like, share and subscribe. Thank you.